First of all, in any budget, my expectations are no surprises. Nobody, investors, markets, the common man, nobody likes surprises. And I think it'll be terrific if Budget 2021 can leave us with nothing, that's a big surprise. Something like, further COVID cess or an increase in tax would be a surprise. And sort of a state duty, anything towards, that kind of new tax would be a surprise. An increase in rates of any kind would be a surprise. So anything, that avoids surprises would be a blockbuster budget, in my view. I think at the same time, the big thing, as I said in my comments, otherwise, India's at this seminal moment. Next year, of course, from a smaller base, but yet we are going to have double-digit growth, well into 12, 13, 14% growth in FY22. How are we going to sustain that growth for the rest of this decade is what this budget has to address and incentivize. Of course, the government's already announced Atmanirbhar Bharat, and as part of that, various schemes, the production-linked incentive scheme, of course, the 10% of GDP, bump into the economy. But I think this is an opportunity to lay out that agenda for the long term. How will India, at least until the end of this decade, not longer, set itself up on growing sustainably with those, sustaining that FY22 double-digit growth for the rest of this decade. I think the second thing this budget has to do is address the pain that's caused by certain sectors and that's felt by certain sectors in tourism, hospitality, airlines, high-touch industries because of course, the pandemic. Something specific for those sectors can be expected and really should be expected. I think the other thing is those at the bottom of the pyramid. In the corporate sector, the SMEs, in the similarly on the personal side, India that's at the bottom of the pyramid. How can we support incomes there so that we can encourage those people at the bottom of the pyramid to spend and of course boost consumption. I think the national infrastructure pipeline, 1.4 trillion. Again, how we go up that target. 1,700 projects that are still to be commissioned there, but also add new projects. 100 smart cities already being built out of nearly 8,000 cities in our country. I think it's time now to announce perhaps the next 200 smart cities. And of course, there's learnings from the first 100, but we need to consider kickstarting that process of the next 200 smart cities. I think I'd say we need to set aside concerns on the fiscal deficit, the debt to GDP ratio and the like. Certainly for the short term, don't worry about those other things and look at pumping the economy, pumping investment so that the capex cycle can be start with full momentum. I think in terms of ease of doing business, one area that has always been high on the agenda for me has been enforcing contracts within that overall ease of doing business ranking. We've made tremendous progress as a country on the ranking. I really feel that enforcing contracts is the area that I'd like to see more dollars going behind, so that there is large-scale legal reform, so that India's position on enforcing contracts within that ease of doing business ranking can also rapidly progress to what I hope is at least top 50 in the next 3 years, if not top 30 from the 150s in the world currently. So I think overall, to summarize, sustain the the double-digit growth we're going to have in FY22 or at least the rest of the decade. Of course, address specific high-tech sectors which have struggled because of the pandemic, incentivize and provide income support to those at the bottom of the pyramid, both in the corporate world as well as individuals. Kickstart further investments into the national infrastructure pipeline by enhancing things like the next 200 smart cities, and lastly, as I said, enforcing contracts within the ease of doing business ranking, large-scale legal reform, and some dollars behind that. And overall, as I said at the beginning, no surprises is what everybody would like, because that itself would help sustain long-term growth. As always, Thornton Bharat will help you stay abreast of key budget announcements and their impact on your industry. Do log on to the Budget 2021 section on our website. There are sessions planned 4 p.m. on the 1st of February, industry-wide sessions to follow the next day after the budget and the day after. Do log on to our website, follow those sessions, stay healthy, stay safe.